Good, let's start. Okay. So, hi everyone. Welcome to basic to advanced level performance testing training sessions. Right. So, this is Mohan, guys. I have around 10 years of experience in performance testing. No, so my experience is completely on performance testing itself. Right. So, I worked on multiple tools like JMeter, Neoload, as well as LoadRunner. Right. I have experience on all three tools. Okay, which are in market right now, which are most popular in market right now, I can say. Okay. Sorry, my voice is a bit disturbing maybe for you. I'm having some cold and cough, okay, which I got today morning. So please adjust with the voice. Okay. So apart from this, right, I worked with again, right, multiple APM tools like App Dynamics, Dynatrace. So most of the time in my career, right, I use Dynatrace. Okay. So as a part of this particular training also, I'm going to cover like Dynatrace integration with JMeter, okay, LoadRunner and Neoload tools separately, right? Those who are going to choose JMeter tool, okay, I'll explain like how we are going to integrate the JMeter with Dynatrace and how we can run the test execution and how we are going to see the analysis part and how we are going to do the analysis part in the Dynatrace, right? So those kind of things I'm going to cover like each and every tool, tool wise separately. Okay. So with this basic idea, guys, I just want to go with today's demo session, right? So today's demo session is completely on the basic level, right? I'm assuming even though if you have some experience, right? Though there are people like who are completely beginners here, right? I just want to go with scratch level onwards so that like you guys get some clear picture. Okay. So those who are already having experience, please ignore like if you already know that, right? But again, right, I'm just going with the basic part initially, right? So as a part of today's demo session, right, I just want to give you some basic idea of what is performance testing. Okay, so but before going to understand what is performance testing, I just want to start from scratch onwards, how a project is going to start, right? So from that particular point onwards, I just want to start this particular demo session. So once after discussing that, I'll go with the basic development process, like the HDLC process. I will give some overview of the HDLC process. And once completing the HDLC process, I'll give you some idea of what are all the different types of environments that we may look into, right? So that we may work, right? So once after completing that, right, we'll jump into the performance testing part, like what is performance testing and why we need to do the performance testing, those kind of things. So at the end, right, I'm going to cover the course content. Okay. So these are all the basic agenda points for today's demo session. Okay. So if you are having any doubts, please feel free to stop me. Okay. So like you can turn on your mic and you can stop me in any place. Okay. If you don't have any doubts, at the end also you can ask your doubts, right? So regarding the once after discussing the course content, we'll come up with all your doubts. Okay. So in the meantime, if you have any doubts, if you want to post it in the chat room, that is also fine. Okay. So let's start today's session with the basic concept. I'll take one example, guys. Okay. So generally, I'll follow this particular example, right? So there is one person. Okay. Let me assume that person as Mohan. Okay. So that person name is Mohan, right? So he's having one e-commerce company. Okay. He's having one e-commerce, he's having one company, okay, wherein he's going to sell his products, right? So that particular company is offline till now, right? That means he's having different stores in Hyderabad, right? He's selling his products in that different stores manually, right? So what his idea is, he wants to take that company to the next level by creating one particular web application so that he can sell his products over online, right? So that is what his intention, right? So what he has done is he approached one software company, guys, right? He approached one software company and a set of people, right? A set of people from the software company, okay, they had some meeting with this particular Mohan, right? So in order to get the requirements from him, Okay, so these are the set of people who are going to contact Mohan from this particular software company. Okay, so that they will get some inputs from Mohan, like what kind of application that he is looking into, right? And if he knows that particular application related information, he is going to provide that. If he don't know that application related information, then this team of members, right, they are going to give their insights to Mohan, so that like he will get some clarity of how that application should be, right? So this is what the basic process that is going to happen, right? So but what we need to understand here is, right, we need to understand what exactly this each and every member role is here, right? So first thing that we need to know is the architect role, guys. In any software company, in any software company, you'll get one architect. You'll see one architect. Okay. So what this architect will do is he's going to understand the technical feasibility of the requirement. Okay. So let us say I came up with some requirement, right? But this particular architect is going to confirm, okay, whether that particular requirement is technically feasible or not, right? So whatever may be the requirement, he can't directly say that it is technically feasible, right? So he need to look into that particular requirement, and he need to think, right, based on his experience, based on his knowledge, right? He's going to provide some inputs on that, and finally he's going to confirm whether this particular requirement is technically feasible or not, right? So that is the role of the architect here. Okay, so once the architect says that, okay, this is technically feasible, right, then the business analyst is going to come into the picture, right? So what the business analyst will do here is, business analyst is going to have good knowledge on that particular domain. Okay, so let us say my requirement here is to like for my particular company, right, I need one web application, right? So that like I can sell my products online, right? So this is an e-commerce domain related application, right? So the business analyst who is going to meet me, right, so she or he is going to have good knowledge on that particular domain, right? First, sure, they should have good knowledge on that particular domain. So what they will suggest is, if at all, right, if I am coming up with some requirement, right, and based on their inputs, right, I may get some very good inputs going forward, right? If at all, if I don't have any idea also, this business analyst, he or she will suggest the proper idea of how to develop this particular requirement and everything, right? Why? Because they already have some good knowledge on this particular domain, right? So that is the reason why this business analyst will help us here in order to clearly understand and make us clear with the concepts of what is our requirement is, right? So that is what the business analyst will do. Okay, so coming to the next thing, like again, right, there are a lot of members that are going to come into the picture. Development team, right, UI UX team, right? I can't add each and every details over here, right? So I just added only few members details over here. The next member that we are going to connect with is quality lead, right? So what this quality lead will do is, like again, testing team lead. Okay, quality lead is nothing but the testing team lead here in this case, right? So this particular quality lead will understand the quality expectation from the project, right? Obviously, developers also will involve. Okay, front end teams also will involve here, right? Lot of teams will involve over here. But at the end of the day, right, I can't put all the teams details over here. On a high level, right, I'm just giving you some overview over here, right? And as we are doing the performance testing process here, this quality lead team I'm going to add here, right? That is the reason why I just added the quality lead part. So it is not that like only quality lead is going to be there, development teams are not going to be there. Okay. So this quality lead will understand the quality expectation from the project, right? And finally, what this project manager will do is he is going to have the idea of the budget and resource expectations, right? And within the timelines, like what kind of timelines that we can provide for this particular project, right? And how much budget is required, right? And how much resource, how many resources are required in order to complete this particular project within the stipulated time duration, right? So these kind of things will be handled by the project manager, right? So one second, guys. Just allow me. Okay. So now what will happen here is, right? So by contacting all these members, right? So I got some clarity that, right, how my web application should be, right? So with this, I confirm that, okay, I'm going to give my particular like work to you guys so that you can build an application for us, right? So immediately this software company, what they will do is they will start following one separate process, that is the software development lifecycle process, right? So in order to develop this web application, they are going to follow this lifecycle process, guys. That is the software development lifecycle process, right? So in the software development lifecycle process, there are going to be 6 different phases, right? Each and every phase is going to have its features, right? So the first stage in the software development lifecycle is the requirement gathering as well as the analysis phase, right? So in the requirement gathering and analysis phase, right? So we are going to, again, the business analyst team, okay, is going to work over here along with the project managers, and they are going to get the requirements from the client. Okay. So as of now, for this particular software company, okay, I am the client, like my company is the client, right? So they are going to, like this project manager as well as the business analyst, what they will do is they are going to get the requirements from me, and they are going to document those requirements, right? And they are going to document those requirements. Okay. So they are going to document those requirements, and that document name, we are going to call it as the business requirement document, okay, or business requirement specification document, right? Another name, like in different companies, they are going to call it as they are going to call it with different names, but most of the companies, they will follow the name called business requirement specification document. Okay. So once this BRS document got developed, right, by this business analyst and project manager, so what this project manager will do is he is going to take that BRS document, okay, business requirement specification document, and he is going to develop one more document called SRS document, software requirement specification document. Okay. So in the software requirement specification document, only the things which are related to, only the information which are related to the software development, right, that is going to be there. Okay. So that SRS document is going to be provided to the next stage as an input. Okay. The next stage here is the design stage. Okay. So in the design stage, what we are like, what this system architect or UI UX designers, what they will do is, based on that SRS document, they are going to start developing few more documents. Okay. They are going to start developing few more documents, as well as they are going to design the basic screens which are needed, right, for that web application. They are going to design the basic screens which are going to required for that specific web application, right? So here again, right, their work is to develop few more documents, right? Here in the design stage, they are going to develop 2 major documents. One is the high level design document, we are going to call it as HLD, and again another document is low level design document, we are going to call it as LLD, right? So in the design phase, based on the SRS document, they are going to develop 2 documents. One is the HLD document, high level design document, and the second one is the LLD document, low level design document. Okay. So in the HLD and LLD documents, right, complete application overview, right, is going to be there. Especially in the HLD document, complete application overview is going to be there, like what type of architecture, application architecture that we are going to use, and what are all the scenarios or flows that we need to develop on a high level, right? And how much time it is going to be required, right? So everything on a high level is going to be there, right? Which teams are going to work on which particular initiatives. So everything will be there on that high level document. And in the low level design document, right, especially each and every flow in depth, like step-by-step process of each and every flow is going to be there in the low-level design document. Okay. So with this basic idea, right, what they will do is they are going to give those documents to the next stage, that is the development stage, right? In the development stage, right, developers will take that low-level design document as well as the high-level design document, and they will start developing the code. Okay. And they will start developing the code which is required for that particular application, right? So once the development team has developed that particular code, right, what they will do is they will convert that code in the form of a build. Okay, they will convert that code in the form of a build, and that build is going to be given as an input to the next stage, that is the testing stage, right? Here our work is going to come into the picture, right? So till this particular part, like in the first three stages, right, what we have done here is we got the information from the client and we have designed some templates for that particular user interface, and we have developed the code, right, backend code for that particular templates, right? And finally the output of the stage 3 is a build. Okay, so that build is going to be given as input to the next stage, that is the testing stage, right? Here our work is going to start. Our testing team work is going to start. Okay. So till this particular part, any doubts before going to discuss more about this testing part, right? So till this particular first three stages, any doubts, please feel free to ask. Any doubts, please feel free to ask, guys. If you don't have any doubts, like I can proceed for the next step. I know like most of you already know these parts, but as a demo session, I need to give this idea again, right? So if you are silent means I can consider this as no, right? No doubts. Okay. So, okay. So once the development is done, then our testing work is going to start, guys, right? So again, testing is divided into like three different types, I can say, right? One is functional testing, another one is non-functional testing, and the third one is the maintenance testing, right? So testing is divided into three different types. One is functional testing, second one is non-functional testing, and third one is maintenance testing, right? So what is functional testing, right? So functional testing is nothing but we are testing the functionality of the application, right? That means whenever if we are launching one particular website, let us say we are opening the website called www.flipkart.com, right? So whether that particular flipkart.com application launch page is opened properly or not, whether all the features in that particular launch page, okay, is working fine or not, right? So doing the testing of that particular functionality, okay, we are going to call it as the functional testing, guys, right? So for example, right, if I open one browser, okay, so sorry, if I open one browser, what I'll do is let me open one particular browser. Okay. So I'm just going to open one browser and I'm going to type like flipkart.com, right? So once if I type flipkart.com over here, right? So this particular page is loaded properly or not, right? And we have different icons here, right? Grocery icon, mobile icon, fashion icon, electronics icon, like that. Different icons are there, right? Whenever if I'm clicking on this particular icon, right, whether my page is going to that particular, like my site is redirecting me to that particular page or not. Okay. Let me give one zip code, some zip code over here, right? So once if I provide the zip code, whether my site is redirecting me to that particular page or not, right? All these are nothing but the functionality, right? Here one search option is there, right? Search is one functionality, right? Login option is there. Login is one functionality, right? Cart is there. Cart is one functionality, right? So these are all different functionalities that are available in this application, right? So testing each and every functionality, whether it is working fine or not, right? We are going to call it as the functional testing. Okay. So non-functional testing. What is non-functional testing? Means let us say whenever if I am launching this particular page, right? How much time it has taken to load this particular page? Okay, how much time it has taken to load this particular page? That is the main thing. Okay, so when it comes to the non-functional testing, our concentration is going to be completely on this response time, like how long it is taking to load this particular page, right? How long it is taking to book the item, right? How long it is taking to add the item to the cart, right? How long it is taking to do the payment, right? And again, whenever if I am launching this particular application with more number of users, how this application is behaving, right? So these kind of things will come into the non-functional testing part, right? So functional testing is nothing but testing the functionalities of the application, right? Non-functional testing is nothing but again testing the non-functionalities of the application, which is in terms of how long it is taking to load the particular page, right? Are they consuming any system resources, right? If more number of users are accessing the application, how the application is behaving. So these kind of things will come under the non-functional testing, right? And coming to the last one, what is the last one that we discussed? Three different types of testings. One is functional, second one is non-functional, and the third one is, guys, please be maintenance testing. Maintenance testing, right? So what is maintenance testing means? Once the application is developed and normal functional testing is done, right? Non-functional testing is done, and once the application went for live, right? Once the application is on live, right? Is on production, right? Then the maintenance testing will come into the picture, right? Once the application is went to production, right? Again, at that time also we need to do some testing, right? At that time also we need to do the testing of few particular features, right? So let us say some of the users, they are feeling that, okay, whenever if I am adding some items to the cart, it is taking lot of time to add the item to the cart, right? At that time, what we need to do is nothing but we need to test only that cart functionality, right? Why that cart functionality is behaving oddly, right? So once the application got deployed, okay, into the production, right? At that time, whatever the testing that we are going to do after deployment, we are going to call that as the maintenance testing. Okay, this maintenance testing is also very, very important that we need to do once the application went to production, right? So these are all the three different types of testings that we are going to perform, right? But again, right, you are saying that, okay, development team will develop the application, testing team will test the application, and finally, once everything is done, okay, you are going to deploy the code into the production, right? So what are all these things? Where the developers will work, where the testers will work, where the final deployment is going to happen, okay, where I need to do the maintenance testing, right? Means for each and every team, okay, your software company, they are going to provide some separate environments, right? What is meant by environment is nothing but environment is in a simple way, right? In a very, very simple way that I can say that. So in order to develop something or in order to test something or in order to deploy something, right? I need one particular computer, right? I need one server, right? In order to develop one application, I need one machine. I need one computer, right? In order to test it, I need one computer. In order to deploy the application, I need one computer, right? So that computer, we are going to call it as a server, right? It's not going to be the normal computer or laptop that we are going to use, right? So it's a high level computer. Server is a high level computer, right? What server will do? It will accept the request, it will process the request, and it will send the response back, right? I'll discuss more on server, what exactly the server is and what is application architecture going forward. But on a high level, right, in order to develop or test or deploy one application, we need one machine. That machine, we are going to call it as a server, right? So we are, in order to develop a very big application like Flipkart or some other X application, Amazon, right? So we need lot of servers, right? So combination are like how those servers are integrated, right? So that particular setup, we are going to call it as an environment, right? Environment here is nothing but I can say group of servers, right? Where those servers are interconnected and where some process is going on, whether it may be the development process or testing process or deployment process, right? So for each and every team, okay, especially for the development team, testing team, right, they are going to provide separate environments so that they will work on those specific environments itself, okay, going forward. Why? Because they don't want any disturbance or discrepancy over there, right? If development team is working on some specific environment on some specific servers, and if testing team is also working on the same servers, means there are chances that they may face issues, right? Both the development team as well as testing team, they may face issues, right? So that is the reason why they will provide separate environments for each and every team, right? So in general, right, most of the companies, they are going to have these four environments for sure, right? One is the development environment. The first one is the development environment. Generally, it is going to be used by the development teams, right? Developers will use this particular environment in order to develop the application, right? In order to write the code and develop the application, they are going to use this development environment. Okay. And testing team, right? What for testing team, again, some test environment is going to be there, right? So here this QA engineers, QA means quality analyst, right? So QA engineers, our testers are going to use this environment in order to test the application, right? For development, separate environment is there. And that means separate servers are going to be there and they are going to develop the application in that environment itself, right? Once the development is done, this development team is going to provide one build, okay? That build is going to be deployed or installed on this testing environment, okay? And this testing team, they are going to start testing the application once the build got deployed. Once the build got deployed, right? So they are going to test the application in the testing environment, right? Once the testing environment is done, right? In the testing environment, testing is completed means, right? That particular build is going to be deployed into the staging environment, right? So what is meant by staging environment means this staging environment is also going to be used by the QA engineers as well as the clients, right? So from the client end, okay, some teams are going to be there, okay, they are also going to use this particular environment, right? So why specifically this environment is needed is nothing but in order to do the user acceptance testing. UAT means user acceptance testing, right? In order to perform this user acceptance testing, we need a staging environment, right? So wherein our company QA engineers, they will use that, as well as clients also, they are going to use this staging environment, and we are going to perform the user acceptance testing. That means in front of the client, we are going to test the application again in front of the client, right? And client need to accept that particular testing part, right? Once if the client accepts that and if everything is good, then clients is going to give the green signal over here. Then obviously this particular code is going to be deployed into the production. Okay. So production environment is nothing but the live environment. Okay. Where the real users are going to access the application. Okay. So whatever the flipkart.com, right, that we have seen right now, it is the production URL, production environment URL, right? So in production, live users are going to access that particular application. Live users are nothing but real users are going to access the application. Whereas the development environment, staging environment, testing environment, these three environments are going to be accessed by the software company members only, team members only. Okay, software company team members only. And these environments are not going to be accessible by outside users generally, right? Only production environment is going to be accessed by real users, whereas the above three environments are going to be used by the software company team members, right? So on a high level, okay, so this is how the development process will happen, right? And the Sorry?
I have a question over here.
Yeah, please.
Come to the previous diagram.
Okay.
Yeah, so here you are mentioning that UAT means that we are doing in front of the client.
Yes.
So when the performance testing will come after or before UAT?
See, obviously, performance testing should be done before the UAT only. Whenever in the testing stage, right? In the testing stage, you need to do both the functional testing as well as the non-functional testing here. Once everything is good, then we are going to deploy the code in staging and they are going to test it, right? In some companies, again, right? So where they don't have the separate environment for performance testing team. Okay. So generally, right, in the like in most of the companies, they will provide only one environment, one testing environment for both functional testing team as well as the non-functional testing team, right? So in those cases, right, it is it is tough for us, especially for the non-functional testing team, right? For the performance testers, it is tough for us to test the application. Why? Because other team is also using, functional testing team is also using, right? So that is the reason why some companies, what they will do is they will ask the functional testing team members to test in the testing environment, and they will ask the performance testers to use the stage environment. Okay. And some companies, even though if they have done the testing, performance testing in normal testing environment, they will ask us to do the testing in staging environment also, to do the performance test executions in stage environment also to verify it, right? And in some companies, right, they will do the production testing also. That means they will directly hit the live application, right? So generally, whatever may be the production application, right, it is going to have some downtime in the sense they are going to do some daily deployments and daily restarts on some specific duration. Okay. So generally it is going to be the non-business hours. That means generally it will be the midnights, most probably from 12 to 5 in between. Okay. So 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. in between, this will happen, right? So during that particular non-business hours, some companies, what they will do is they will ask us to do the performance testing on production servers also. Okay. So it's not mandatory that it should be always before the UAT or after the UAT. So in the staging environment also, we are going to perform the testing, right? Especially the non-functional testing, performance testing, we are going to perform it in the staging environment also. Hope I cleared your doubt.
Yes, yes. So just for adding on one more point. So for performance tester, UAT means that we are putting some load into the JMeter or we are checking our servers and all those things, right?
Not our servers. Obviously, we are not going to check our servers. We are going to check the application servers.
That is only UAT, right?
Yes, yes. Always, even in the testing environment also, you're going to you're going to send the request to the application servers only. See, generally, whenever the application got developed, they are going to deploy that particular code on some servers, right? Application servers. We are going to test those application servers only. We are going to test those servers only. Our servers in the sense, what exactly your point? I didn't get you.
No, sorry, my bad. So I got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So you got my point, right? So generally, we need to test the application servers only. Where the application is hosted, those servers only we need to test it. Okay. So in Mhm.
Is this environment same as production environment in
Yeah,
terms of
that is my next point. Yeah,
architecture?
that is my next point. I'm just coming to that. Yeah. So,
Okay.
good question. Anyhow, as you brought that point, right? So generally, right, the lower environment. So we are going to call this as the production environment, right? So that is the live environment, and all the other environments apart from production environment, like the staging, testing, and development environments, we are going to call these environments as lower environments. Okay. So all the lower environments are not going to be equals to the production environment. Like let us say in production, okay, for a specific application, if we have some 10 servers in production, okay, in other environments, in lower environments, we are not going to see the same count of servers. Obviously, Okay, the lower environments are going to have 30% to 40% of the production server count. Okay, so theoretically it should be 100%, but practically it won't be possible. The reason is the cost will be more, right? If we have 10 servers in production, maintaining same 10 servers in all the other environments also, it is tough. Okay, so why? Because the cost will be more. So that is the reason why they will maintain only 30% of the production count in lower environments. That is in the testing environment, development environments, and other environments, right? So for development, again, it is going to be very less. 10 to 15% of the production they are going to maintain. So for testing and staging, for testing generally it is they are going to maintain 30%, and for staging based on the project, okay, if they are able to maintain those many servers and if they are not looking into the cost, then they will go with the production count in staging also. Okay, if they are keeping production count in staging, then no need of production testing again. But if they are unable to keep it, sometimes they will ask for production testing. But in general, most of the companies, what they will follow is they will go with 30% of the production count. That means if 10 servers or 9 servers are there in production, means 30% of the servers will be there in the lower environment. If some 32 GB hard disk, 32 GB RAM is there for the server, means so 30% of that is going to be there. Again, hardware configuration, software configuration, everything is they are going to maintain like some 30% of that. Hope I answered your question.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is how the process will happen. Okay. So till now, what we have discussed is, okay, how the development process is done, right? Once the development is done, we are going to test the application. Again, we are going to do 3 different types of testings, like functional testing, non-functional testing, and maintenance testing, right? In that, our performance testing, whatever that we are going to discuss today, will come under the non-functional testing. Performance testing is a non-functional type of testing. Remember, okay? Security testing, performance testing will come under non-functional testing. Okay, I have a slide for this, but I just don't want to go with the slides. Okay, so again, so performance testing is a part of non-functional testing, right? So what is performance testing? We'll try to understand that. Okay, and with that, I'll stop the demo session here for today, and I'll go with the course content. Okay. So everyone knows like what is functional testing. Don't worry, I'm going to cover all these points like what is functional testing, what are the different types of functional testing, right? On a high level in our coming sessions. But as it is a demo session, I'm just giving you some overview. Okay. But what is performance testing? Means performance testing is nothing but in a simple way, putting some user load on the application, right? I can tell you with this example, right? So once the application got developed, what we are going to do, right? We are going to deploy that application on the servers, right? Once the application is deployed on the servers, right? We are going to access the application from different clients. Okay, different clients are nothing but different machines from different machines, different users are going to access. Some people they will access through tabs. Some people they will access to laptop. Some people they will access through desktops. Some people they will access through mobiles, right? So let us say Flipkart application is there that is hosted on this server, right? This application will be accessed by n number of users, n number of clients, okay, from outside, from n number of devices, right? Different devices they are going to access this application, right? If more number of users are accessing this application, which is there on, which is hosted or deployed on this particular server, right? How this application is behaving, right? How this application performance is, how the servers are behaving, right? So understanding or testing this particular process, we are going to call it as a performance testing. So performance testing is a process where we are going to put some user load on the application, and we are going to test the performance of the application in terms of response times, right? So if more number of users are accessing the application, how the response times are, right? That means how long it is taking to load that particular page, right? And when more number of users are accessing the application, how the server system resources are, how the server CPU utilization is, how the server memory utilization is, how the server disk utilization is, how the server network utilization is. These kind of things we need to understand, right? So this particular kind of testing, right, to understand the performance of the application, we are going to call it as the performance testing, right? For example, right, some 10th class results are releasing today, for example, right? So if you see, right, if 10th class results are releasing, most of the students, they are going to access that particular results website, right? So that what will happen if more users are accessing that application, obviously you will get that particular page is going to load very slowly. Why? Because more number of users are sending the request to the server, and that server is going to be overburdened, right? Like how our system is, right? In my case, right, if I go to the task manager, if I open the task manager in my laptop, right, you can see this, right? You can see this. As of now, these many applications are running on my application, on my laptop, right, on a front end, and on the background process, these many applications are running on the background, right? So because of that, what is happening here? Observe, total out of 100%, 44% of the CPU utilization is happening right now. 76% of the memory utilization is happening. 0% disk utilization is happening, and 0% network utilization is happening. Okay, somewhere around here and there it is changing, right? But our major concern is with these two, CPU utilization and memory utilization, right? If I am opening lot of applications in my laptop, then the CPU utilization and memory utilization will increase. And if it reaches around 100%, then obviously my laptop will get hanged, right? In the same way, wherever you are hosting the application, right? For example, you are hosting the application on this server. If more number of users are accessing that application, then obviously more number of requests will come to this particular server, and this server is going to be overburdened. That means this server's CPU memory utilization is going to be more because of the number of requests that are coming here, right? Obviously, if CPU memory utilization is going to be high, these servers will get hanged, and obviously they can't provide the proper response to the server clients, right? So that is the reason why there are chances that you may see that server down issues, right? So some people, they'll say like, yeah, I just went to internet for seeing my 10th class results, but servers are down. So that is the reason why I'm not getting the I'm not getting the result over there, right? So why the servers are going to be down means because of this particular issue, right? So our main intention while doing the performance testing is this, to just verify, right, how the application is going to perform under some user load. That is what the whole intention here. This is what the performance testing is. Hope it is clear. Any doubts till now? Please feel free to ask. Okay. So the same point I mentioned over here again. So performance testing is primarily concerned with testing a system or application to ensure that it maintains its performance under increased user load and edge conditions, right? So increased user load means by increasing the number of users, and edge conditions means by maintaining the proper CPU, memory, and network as well as disk utilizations, right? On this basis, right, how we are going to test the application, that is nothing but your performance testing in a simple way, right? So generally, this is going to be handled by the QA team, that is the quality assurance team. And in performance testing, our main intention is not to find the bugs. Okay, we are not here to find out the issues. We are here to find out the performance bottlenecks, right? So what are performance bottlenecks, right? And how to identify that going forward, we are going to discuss more clearly, right? On a high level, performance bottlenecks are nothing but it's an issue which is going to cause the degradation of the performance of the application, right? So identifying that particular issue is our major task, right? Identifying the functionality wise issues is not our intention. Identifying the cause which is going to degrade our application performance. That is the major theme of doing the performance testing, right? So with this basic idea, I just want to give some overview, right? Like how we can do the performance testing. Means we can do the performance testing with different tools that are available in market. So the three major tools are the main tools that are available in market for performance testing is JMeter, Neoload, as well as the LoadRunner, right? So again, in tomorrow's session, like we are going to discuss what are the three different tools and what is the major difference that are going to be there in between the three tools, okay, by doing some comparison, right? So with this, this demo part is done, right? Now I'll just show you the course content for 5 more minutes and I'll close the session, okay? So when coming to the course content, right, as a part, I'm just going to show all the three course contents here. Okay, so let me see if someone is joining. Yeah, I'm going to show all the three course contents here, like LoadRunner, JMeter, as well as Neoload, right? For three different tools, again, three separate sessions are going to conduct, right? It's not continuous sessions. Okay, if you want, like again, one batch after another batch, I can take the sessions, right? So here, right, coming to the LoadRunner course content, the whole course is divided into like some 11 modules here, right? On a high level, I have developed this particular course content. So my way of teaching is always going to be the project basis only, right? It's not like I'm going to teach the theory part first, right? All the theory part which is related to LoadRunner first, and then I'm going to cover the basic parts of the scripting, and I'm going to close it by running one or two tests like that, right? So my intention here is to like how I'm going to work on a particular project, right? In my company. The same way, here also I'm going to teach the sessions, right? So the course content is going to be like this. It is going to be divided into 11 modules here, right? If you see each and every module is going to have some information like what are the topics that are going to cover, right? So when it comes to the introduction to performance testing, like what is performance testing, what are the key performance matrices, and what are the performance testing tool overview, right? So I'm going to introduce those things first. And for each and every module, separate assignments are going to be provided, right? So I'm going to ask you guys to do that assignments and submit those assignments to me, right? So whatever the concepts that I'm going to teach, these assignments are going to be related to the same concepts again. Okay. So for each and every module, separate assignment is going to be given, right? So once the introduction is done to performance testing, we'll jump into the LoadRunner introduction, like the LoadRunner architecture, what are the protocols that it is going to support, introduction to VUgen part, right? And also we are going to see the scripting process, okay, with the help of VUgen, right? What are the basic functions, VUgen functions that we have, like web functions, LR functions, right? How to do the parameterization in VUgen, right? So, and again, there are different types of parameterizations that we can do, like advanced parameterization concepts are also there, right? So by using different functions that are available here, right? Everything I'm going to cover in depth with a practical examples, guys, right? So again, correlation part in LoadRunner, how we are going to do the correlation part, right? So what are the different web functions that we are going to use it, right? I'm not going to do the correlation only with auto correlation concept. Most of the people, they will prefer auto correlation, guys, which is not at all preferable. Okay. As I always mention, which is not at all preferable over here, right? So always you need to write some functions, okay, manually. Then only you will remember those functions, and at the time of interview also you will come up with the questions on those web functions, means you will able to answer those clearly, right? And also I'll cover advanced correlation concepts, like whenever if left boundary right boundary is varying, how to handle those kind of situations. When you have only left boundary and you don't have right boundary, how to write the regular expression out there, right? So like that, like when you have special characters in your boundaries, right? How to handle those kind of situations. Like that, n number of advanced correlation concepts also I'm going to cover here. And once that is done, like advanced scriptings, right? Like how we are going to use this LR output message, LR error message, okay, error handling concepts, custom functions, how we need to write the custom functions, right? Custom C functions. right? And how we are going to do the runtime settings, what are all the different options that we have in the runtime settings, which options we need to use, right? So those points I'm going to cover it. Once that is done, I'll go and introduce you the controller part, okay, wherein how we are going to design the scenario, right? How we are going to do the workload modeling, right? With the help of Little's law, how we are going to calculate the pacing, right? And also how we are going to do the load test execution setup, right? With the help of the options that are available in controller, right? How we are going to trigger the tests, right? All those things, right? All those things in a very depth way I'm going to cover, right? As of now, we all know, right? Most of you guys, those who are already working in on LoadRunner, they already know that LoadRunner, it's a paid tool. Okay, we need to purchase the license, but they are going to provide like 50 virtual user license free, right? So with that free license only, we are going to cover these training sessions, right? So once that is done, we are going to the analysis part, right? So in the analysis part, like how we are going to see how we are going to take different graphs, right? And how we are going to merge those graphs in order to understand where exactly the issue is, right? So how we are going to identify the bottlenecks, okay, by adding the dynatrace, right? By integrating the dynatrace with LoadRunner, right? At the time of test execution, how we are going to do the analysis, right? And once the analysis is done, how we are going to generate the reports, right? So how we are going to generate the standard report, how we are going to generate the comparison report, all those things I'm going to cover in the analysis part, right? And apart from that, like troubleshooting and optimization, especially whenever if you are working with any kind of DB queries, right? So at that time, there are chances that we may see some issues with high response time of some DB queries or timeouts for some DB queries, right? How we are going to identify that, right? Those kind of things I'm going to cover here. And also I'll cover like how we are going to add the load generators, okay? And how we are going to simulate or route the traffic, okay, among those load generators. But those kind of things I'm going to cover. Again, cloud, it is not possible. I thought of removing this, but cloud, it is not possible. Okay, cloud-based load generators, I can show you the set, like I can show you where you can add the setup. But for this, in order to do the setup, we need some license. Okay, but that is not possible. I can just show you the setup, like where we can do the setup and everything. I can show you that, right? And apart from that, like I'm going to cover the web services concepts related to REST as well as SOAP APIs, how we are going to do that, setup of REST APIs and SOAP APIs in LoadRunner, right? So when it comes to the last part, that is the web services part, like how we are going to do the setup of SOAP and REST APIs, right? So with this, we are going to complete this LoadRunner sessions. Okay. So this is what the LoadRunner course content on a high level. Okay. So again, this is on a complete high level course content which I have added. I just don't want to add in a step-by-step process like all the concepts which are there in LoadRunner. Why? Because my way of teaching, as I always mention, right? So my way of teaching is completely related to the project wise. Okay, not on the topic wise. Okay. So in real time, how we are going to do the performance testing, right? When it comes to a new application, right? I'll start from there onwards, right? I'll start from application architecture. I'll start how to discuss like how we are going to use this developer tools, right? All those concepts I'm going to cover for sure, right? When it comes to the JMeter course content, like these are all the modules which I have developed for this JMeter course content, right? Again, here also we'll start with introduction. Introduction part is common, so I'm not going to reveal that again, right? So coming to the next one, like how we are going to set up our first JMeter test plan, right? So JMeter components overview, creating your first test plan, right? Running your first test plan on a high level, and based on that I'm going to give you some assignment, right? Once after that I'm going to have one separate PDF file, okay, wherein how we are going to do the script enhancements, the step-by-step process of doing the script enhancements, okay, we are going to follow. In that parameterization we are going to do, right? And we are going to pass the CSV files, and we are going to do the dynamic parameterization by using the user defined variables that are available, right? So those kind of points related to parameterization I'm going to cover, and also coming to correlation, like different types of correlations, like again, right, correlation in the sense here by using the boundary extractor, by using the regular expression extractor, by using the JSON extractor, how we can do the correlation here. So that I'm going to cover in the correlation, right? And also assignment related to each and every topic is common, right? And also coming to assertions, what are all the different types of assertions that are there, right? Which assertions are useful for us, right? How to use the assertions, right? Especially the response assertion, duration assertion, size assertion, right? How to use those things, right? Where exactly we are going to use those things. And also once that is done, I will give you the controllers overview, like what are all the different logic controllers that we have, right? And how to use that each and every controller in your application, okay, with respect to your scenario, right? In your scenario, how we are going to use this application, use these controllers, right? Nowadays in most of the companies interviews, they are going to ask more number of questions on this controllers part. Most of the people, those who are attending the interviews, they don't know how to use these controllers. So that is the reason why they are not getting selected over there, right? If you know how to use these controllers properly, whatever may be the question that they are going to ask related to controllers, you can tell that easily, right? I have a separate 2 hour session for these controllers with practical examples of each and every controller, how to use that and everything, right? And also coming to the correlation advanced concepts also, one separate session is there. Okay, I can show you each and every advanced correlation handling techniques over there, right? And also the plugins, how to use the JMeter plugins, what are all the plugins that we have, right? And also related to the timers, right? How to apply the think time, right? How to use the pacing, right? What is the use of the synchronizing timer? What are all the different timer functions that are available, right? How to use those things, right? And lot of other timer concepts also we are going to use it. And also how to calculate the pacing with the help of workload modeling concept, right? What is Little's law, right? How we are going to adjust the traffic and everything, right? Based on how we are going to handle the required TPH based on the calculation of pacing and everything, right? So everything practical sessions are going to be handled here. It's not theoretical sessions, guys, right? Only first 5 to 6 sessions are going to be theoretical, okay, which are completely related to the basics of performance testing, which are required for us. And once that is done, everything is hands-on sessions only for sure, okay? And how we are going to do the load test setup with the help of different custom thread groups that are available, right? How we are going to do the ramp up, ramp down, and steady state patterns setup, right? With those thread groups, everything, right? And how to execute the test in non-GUI mode as well as GUI mode, right? How to generate the reports, how to store the results, how to generate the report, right? HTML reports, and what are all the properties that we need to add, okay, in order to generate a proper HTML report, right? So those kind of things I'm going to cover here. And apart from that, I'm going to cover this advanced JMeter metrics also, like not only JMeter metrics, advanced performance metrics, I can say. Okay, so like throughput with the help of listeners, sessions, okay, how you can handle properly, like the throughput controllers, right? How you can use those things. All those things I am going to cover it. And the major concepts are InfluxDB Grafana integration. When you are doing the load test using non-GA mode, obviously with the help of non-GA mode, you can't see how the test execution process is going on. For that, we need this InfluxDB Grafana integration. So how we can integrate that, right? That particular concept I'm going to discuss, right? And how the distributed load testing concept we need to do, right? Instead of load here in LoadRunner, we have load generators concept, whereas here we don't have that load generator concept. We have master slave concept. So that process we are going to call it as the distributed load testing concept. How we are going to do that, right? And also how to integrate the JMeter with the Jenkins, okay? How to do the database load testing, right? How we are going to integrate the web services, right? How we are going to do the web services load testing, REST as well as SOAP, right? How we are going to integrate the Dynatrace with JMeter, and also how we are going to run the test and monitor the results in Dynatrace, right? All those things I'm going to cover it practically, right? So these are the complete course content of the JMeter here, right? Coming to the last one, the Neoload course content. This is the Neoload course content. So this is the module-wise distribution of the Neoload course content. Here also, like I'm going to start with introduction again, right? And coming to the installation of required softwares, right? And also the Neoload tool introduction, right? The architecture of Neoload, components of Neoload, right? We are going to have three different modules: design, runtime, and results, right? Overview of each module, I'm going to cover it. And also along with that, I'm going to do the scripting, like how we are going to do the recording, validating the user paths, right? What is the use of this flag feature, right? How we are going to do the correlation, parameterization, okay? And what are all the actions that are available in Neoload, and how we are going to use that according to our requirement, right? So these concepts I'm going to cover with enhanced like assignments over here, and also how we are going to do the test execution setup, right? Within the runtime tab, how we are going to create the populations, how we are going to add the monitors, right? How we are going to do the test execution setup, okay, for different types of test executions, like load test, stress test, endurance test, right? Spike test, those kind of different types of test execution setup, and how we are going to run the test by leasing the license, right? And Neoload is also a licensed tool. So we are going to purchase the license, right? Again, some free license is there. So I'm going to provide you that license, and you can use that license for running the tests, right? And also how we are going to integrate the Dynatrace with Neoload, right? And how we are going to run the test, and how we are going to monitor the test results in Dynatrace, right? And again, final result analysis and report generation, right? So how we are going to generate the standard report, comparison report, all those things. And also the advanced topics which are related to the tunnel mode of recording, right? And recording the user path from some specific transaction, right? How to write the data into the specific file using the JavaScript, right? So like this, a lot of advanced concepts are also there, and also integration with the third-party tools like Jenkins, GitHub, right? So how we are going to do that, and also distributed testing, like how we are going to add the load generators here, right? And how we are going to run the test with the help of load generators. And finally, how we are going to identify the bottlenecks, how we are going to like how we are going to make the benchmark testing, right? And how we are going to run another test, and how we are going to do the comparison of the second run with the first run, right? So those kind of things I'm going to cover. And mainly the web services concept, right? Again, web services is common in all the three tools, like REST, SOAP APIs, how we are going to handle that. And also advanced Neoload scripting techniques, okay, which are very much required in handling the dynamic values, and like especially when it comes to the complex correlation techniques, especially, right? So these kind of advanced concepts. And finally the Neoload web, okay, we are going to call it as the SaaS version of the Neoload. How to trigger the test using the Neoload SaaS, how to monitor the test execution at the at the time of test execution, how to monitor the test results in the Neoload SaaS, right? Those kind of things I'm going to cover here as a part of Neoload training, right? So these are all the three different tools course content, right? So with this, this demo session is done, right? Any questions, please feel free to ask, guys. Any questions here?
Are we able to get the recorded video sessions as well?
Yes, yeah. For each and every session, recorded session is going to be provided for sure, and with lifetime access. All the recorded sessions are going to be provided with lifetime access. You can access it throughout your life. Yeah.
And
Go ahead, please.
okay, so all these three tools you'll be covering, right?
Again, right, these generally, right, I'll cover one tool at a time, right? So if you are planning to register in all the three tools, I would suggest to go with one tool at a time.
Okay, so that's what my next question is. Like right now, if I for one tool, there's a different batch, and that's what you mean, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
you'll take
Obviously, all the members, like they won't prefer all the three tools, right? Some people, they will go with only one tool. So yeah, three different batches for three different
Right.
courses. And again, fees is also 10K for each tool. Like if you want to learn 3 different tools, 30K will be the price. If you want to learn only one tool, 10K is the price.
Okay. And do you also take the interview preparations or questions if there's
I
anything
will
of
provide
that?
interview questions, and I'll discuss interview questions in one particular session. What are all the major interview questions that they are going to ask? I'll cover that in one particular session. I'll provide you the interview questions soft copies. Okay. With along with answers if you need, I'll provide that too. Okay. And I'll also provide resumes. Okay, sample resumes, and also I'll provide the recorded interview sessions. Okay, only audio sessions, not video, only audio recorded interview sessions, so that like if you go through those audio sessions, it will be helpful for you to crack any interview. Okay, so these things I'll provide it.
Okay, that'll be great. Okay, yeah. And what about the timings? Is that
Yeah, timings is not yet confirmed. Like I'll like again, right, based on the demo, like those who are going to approach me for different tools, right? We'll discuss on the timing part. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Someone is trying to ask one more question.
Monitoring tool, what are the covers you are going to cover in each courses in monitoring difference?
See,
Dynatrix or any other
Dynatrace only. I'm just going to cover the Dynatrace, and that too, whatever the performance testers are needed, I'm going to cover only that. I'm not going to cover the complete Dynatrace. Why? Because it is going to be a separate session. Dynatrace, if you want to learn complete Dynatrace, it will take like some 20 hours more. Okay, so Dynatrace is a complete separate tool if you want to learn it. But whatever that the performance testers are required, that I'm going to cover, like how to install the one agent. Okay, in order to use the Dynatrace, right? How to get the URL, Dynatrace URL, and how to log in into it, right? And what are all the main options that we are going to use in Dynatrace, right? So those kind of things I am going to show you, and also how to integrate your tool with Dynatrace, and at the time of test execution, how you are going to monitor the requests or services that you are going to send through your application, right? So those things also I'll cover.
Okay.
Yeah, it will be like for Dynatrace, it will be like around 2 hour session, not more than that.
Dashboard design also explained in this session.
Dynatrace dashboard designs are not going to be explained. Why? Because again, it will be a different thing, but you can design it very easily. Dynatrace, those things you can design it very easily. But again, as I mentioned, right, this concept, this particular whole theme is related to the performance testing tools only. But again, monitoring tool is important. We'll try to cover it. Okay, if time permits, we'll try to cover. Okay, it will take hardly 10 more minutes. But I can show you only one by adding like 1 or 2 items to the dashboard.
Okay. And sorry, last question. Is each session of 2 hours or only you were saying about
No,
Dynatrace?
only Dynatrace. Each session is going to be for 1 hour daily.
Okay.
Daily 1 hour session is going to be there. Only for the Dynatrace 2 hours. Again, 2 different days, 2 different sessions.
And if you're joining the LoadRunner batch, and the Dynatrace will be considered in that, or it will be out?
Yeah, it is there in all the 3 tools. Dynatrace integration is there in all the 3 tools. Any other questions? Okay. I hope questions are not there. If questions are not there, thanks for attending this session. We'll discuss more in our coming sessions on this, right? Thanks, everyone.
Next session is tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll update in the group.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.